Are you a mom that is unknowingly making some mistakes while you're in estrangement with your adult child? You know, these mistakes can not only affect, of course, your child in the future, but I'm talking today about these unknowingly mistakes that you might be making for yourself. And so let's dive into this. You know, I want you to know that this estrangement that you're going through probably didn't happen overnight, right? You've been grappling with this for a while now. If you're watching this video, this isn't related to an incident that happened last night. You've been on this road for a few months, maybe a few years, maybe even longer. But some mistakes that I know I made and that I see a lot of my clients make, which is why I'm doing this video today. I want to talk to you about this because there's 4 things that I think are really super important. And number 1 is blame and defensiveness. This is all within your control. And I want you to realize that all 4 of these tips I'm going to give you today are within your control. They have nothing to do with your child. Those are the most important things that I want you to think about because, again, they're within your control. So let's talk about this because it's really easy to put blame on someone else. Whether it's your son, your daughter, your spouse, your friend, your coworker, your boss, right? It's really easy to put blame on someone else and also to get defensive in different situations. And so I want to encourage you to examine what that looks like for you. What are the detrimental effects of assigning blame without looking in the mirror first? And some of you may say, but you don't know what they did or you don't know what they said. And really, it's irrelevant in the sense of how you move forward in regards to what you can control. And so just taking a look, I am not assigning blame to you as a mom, 100% of the blame, but in any relationship, there's 2 people and we all play a part. So I want you to be able to take a look at that self-blame and also the defensiveness and just literally take a deep breath and realize that you have to be able to acknowledge your part, but don't hold all of it, right? I'm not saying take on the blame for everything that has ever happened, not at all. But those are some things that I had to do. I had to look in the mirror and realize, what part did I play in this? If there was an incident or this has been going on for a while, what part did I play? But then I have to let it go. And then in the last video I did not too long ago on self-forgiveness. Go back and watch that one because that is crucial as well in moving forward with all of this. The second one is ignoring your personal growth. Oh, so many of you are risking your future. I just want to encourage you that neglecting your personal well-being is probably one of the worst things you can do, not just for yourself, but for your relationships, right? Because you need to come out of this stronger and in a better place, regardless of what happens with your child, right? And that's the point I got to. I knew that I had to be okay whether my daughter was okay or not. Of course I wanted her home. Of course I wanted her healthy, but those were not my decisions. I didn't have control over what her actions were going to be. And so it's just really important that you take a look at your own personal growth. What does that look like? It could be a myriad of things. And I have several videos on self-care and all of that you can go back and watch. But I want you to think about your own personal growth. What does this next year look like for you? What does 2024, how are you going to grow in your own life? Not just as a mom, but in your own life. I want to encourage you to think about that. If you're watching this in real time, then you can click the link below. I actually have a sale going on, a New Year's sale. You can keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be showing you how to take care of you in the new year. And so I encourage you to take a look. Number 3 is trying to do this alone. Oh, that is one of the biggest mistakes I made in the beginning. It was such a big mistake. It really was, because first I was embarrassed and then I isolated with my bottle of wine, to be really blunt and honest. And so that didn't serve me. It didn't serve the rest of my family. It didn't serve my daughter. It's one of those things where we try to avoid a group. We try to avoid therapy. We try to avoid all these things. But that's what you need the most, is you need the support. You need a support system. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're a mom that is, at that point, you're in this journey and you're realizing, I can't do this alone, which is all of you, I would think, unless you have another support system, which thank goodness, like that's fine. But if you're interested in a small group where you can feel safe and secure and loved and not judged for this situation with your child, but at the same time are ready to focus on you, because you doing this alone, right? You need that support system, but you have to be also ready to take a look at your own life and want to grow. And if that's you, then you can click my discovery call link below and ask more about my group coaching program. And I would love to connect with you on that and we can talk about it. And then the last one is rushing or forcing reconciliation. And this is something we were just talking about in my group not too long ago, a week or so ago. There's situations where when an incident happens and we start having an estrangement from our child, whether it just be a rocky relationship or maybe they've really walked away from you, it's really easy to want to reconcile immediately. That's kind of just human nature, right? We want this to be over. We want to go back to how it used to be, all of these things. Well, for myself, as well as many of the moms that I serve, they're seeing now that some time has passed. They're seeing that, you know what? I don't want to go back to how it used to be. I want it to be better. I don't want to go back to quote unquote normal when normal wasn't even healthy, right? So while they're in the waiting period, in the messy middle, these moms, just like you, are learning that they have to focus on themselves before reconciliation could even happen. Like, the relationships are two people. Your son and your daughter need to focus on themselves, and only they get to choose if they're actually going to do that work. Just like you get to choose if you're going to do your work, right? And you're going to grow in other relationships, not just the relationship with your child. This takes patience, and this takes the reconciliation process to unfold almost organically. But over time, it is going to be a win-win and a benefit for both of you. And so I just want to encourage you with that today, because that is one of the biggest things that these moms are seeing now. I didn't have the luxury of forcing the reconciliation because it wasn't happening, because she had walked away from the family and friends and all of that. But some of you are having some communication with your kid, with your adult children, and you're wondering, how do I do this? Like, how can I rush this? How can I get them home for Christmas? How can I make all this happen? And maybe it will, maybe it won't right now. But while you're waiting for that, and let it play out. Let it play out, because, there's a saying, time heals wounds. And I do believe that can be true. But you need to, first of all, we need the healer, but you need to be able to, at the same time, look in the mirror and figure out what needs to be healed and what do I need to let go of. And so all of those things can happen during this process that you're in the messy middle, right? So I hope this helps you today, and I'll see you in the next video.